WW7ATS. Can you hear me on 2 meter?
Say again, please.
Maybe you have me muted at your computer screen. Or your computer, maybe you got the mute button on there. Well, we'll find out.
Maybe waiter somebody has you muted. I don't see, there's no X on your microphone or anything. My microphone haven't been working, but I just tried to click them out.
Well, I hear you just fine. I just don't know why you don't hear me on Discord. Because I did everything. I rebooted my entire machine just to make sure that that everything was wired up correctly. But anything's possible. We'll find out as the group collects, won't we?
Yeah.
All right, K7ATS, standing by. That is a demonstration, a good demonstration of why we need to keep 2 meter for quite a while, just for things like this. K7ATS. No, I see Carlos on standby on Echo Link.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the '08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that engage in digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We have a repeater located on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll see some information about our club. Also, you'll find a link to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Saturdays and Wednesdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08, and note you'll need a tone of 103.5 to communicate with this net. Again, you'll need a tone of 103.5 to communicate with this net. Well, with that, I'll pause momentarily in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the net before it gets fully underway. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM, pausing. And hearing none, well, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Checked in so far by video link is Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma. Richard, K7ITX in Arizona. Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma. Jim, N7QO in Covington. WU7N, James in Northeast Bellevue. And Carlos, AD7NP in Clyde Hill. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check in? Hearing none, we'll start off the net with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. This is Ron, KD7QKU. Well, today was, like all day, sort of uneventful. I did go over to the Tacoma Ham Clubhouse today in the morning a little while and sat around and looked at the guys. There wasn't a good conversation going on, I guess, that I could get into. They wanted to talk a little more about politics than they usually do, which was sort of surprising. There were some newer people that I was unfamiliar with there. And then I had asked Wade to help, I asked him to buy a computer for Joanne, a desktop computer, not a laptop. So he had that, and he brought it over after the net, after we got home from the Tacoma Ham Club, and then he got it all set up. So she's got a brand new computer, wireless keyboard, wireless mouse and stuff. So I hope it'll serve her well, and I hope she'll enjoy it. So that's about all I have for now. So I will turn it back to Dave, KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Also checked into the net is Lee, N7KC in PA. So we'll send it over to Lee to see what he has to say. And no response from Lee. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. So let's move on with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Coming up next is Richard, K7ITX in Arizona.
Okay, well, it's sure great to see everyone tonight. Sorry I've missed the last couple of nets, but things are finally settled down here with Debbie is back, the YL is back. The drama I created, right the moment she steps through the door, is I totally lose lack of control myself. I climbed out of that mess. It's one of these deals where, should we call the fire department? It was just ridiculous. I've fallen twice now in the last 7 days, but they're not falls. They're just kind of stuff that when you were in your normal youth, it's no big deal. You stumble a little bit and you get right back up. Well, I'm not in my normal youth anymore. So, God got it anyway. It's just kind of a drag. And so I'm having to be extra cautious. I canceled my PT. I canceled my physical therapy appointment on Thursday just to recover, and Friday I slept all day. So no, I'm getting back to normal, but I have to really think about this as I approach the 25th of March and head back home. So God darn anyway. And I think that's wonderful. Joanne has a new computer. She's going to really enjoy it. It's just going to be nice and sleek for her. It'll fit her personality. I'm sure she's really going to enjoy it. So with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
WU7N disconnected.
Thanks for that. K7ITX, Richard in Arizona. Well, let's move to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
This is W7ATL here, and so I'm going to demo a couple of things for you guys. And show you right now, you're seeing my video coming from my OBS bot. It's one of the 2 cameras that I currently have. I'm going to see if I can pan over and show you my other camera setup that I got now. Let's see which direction I need to go. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. That's my other one. So I got this little guy here. It's a little tripod that I got from my iPhone. It's called a 360 Flow 2. I forget the name of the brand. It's called Insta360 Flow 2. It's a little gimbal, and I'm using OBS. It's called Droid Cam in NTI. So let's see if I switch back and I'll show you the other video. So there we go. Now it should come here in just a second. Now this is the video from my iPhone. So it's a little different color tone. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Why it's being really slow. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the other one. Let's see. Let's switch back. Other than that, today was a pretty good day. Went to the Radio Club of Tacoma and saw Ron there. Let's see, I'm going to break for just a second. I think I've been talking a while. All right, well, yeah, I went to the radio club this morning and showed off the streams and stuff that we've been setting up for the net. Right now, we're streaming to YouTube, but we also have our own streaming server, as a few of you might know, and that's going to be kind of the primary for getting video out of the repeater. It's very low latency comparatively to the other services. I would say depending on network conditions, between 2 and 4 seconds. So it's not too bad. Let's see. Other than that, I met up with Ron and his wife Joanne this afternoon. I set up her computer and got a new computer for her, all set up. So that's what we did this evening. And I'll have more content for the next round, but I'll turn it back to Net Control. Dave, this is W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks with that. Well, up next, let's go visit Jim in Covington, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, let's see. Ron and Wade both went to Radio Club of Tacoma. New computer for Joanne. Thanks for helping set that up there, Wade. Just out of curiosity, Ron, is that a mini computer? Is that one of these little tiny squares, or is it more like an ancient computer like I've got? Just curious about that. Dick, Debbie's back. Yeah, I sort of a stumble. I can understand perfectly because I seem to be, how should I say this, less able to recover as quickly as I used to. Although I have not fallen yet, it's like it takes an extra step for me to avoid falling. A friend of mine here, and he's only he's maybe 73, really good shape though, on the treadmill all the time, and he confided in me that he had a similar experience just walking down the street, stumbled on a little uneven spot in the sidewalk, and he said normally it would have been something he wouldn't even think about. Didn't need to worry about recovering in the past, but now he said he went down, and so yeah, I don't know. I guess we just need to be more careful than we used to be. Just the way it works. Oh well. Let's see. So I have no video tonight. I got about 3 single-shot pictures out of the television repeater, and now I've got nothing but a black screen. And I've been having some problems with with my computer the past week or so. Okay, now I just got a snapshot of the television repeater. What happened is my modem decided to go out to lunch, and so okay, no big deal. I'll just go get a new modem. Well, unfortunately, it was not quite that simple. I have a new modem, but it doesn't seem to want to play with my router. My old modem had 4 RJ45 jacks on it, and I had my computer plugged into one, and the router plugged into another. The new router has 2 jacks, and I can plug into one, but the second one does not work. The salesman at the store told me that it would, but in doing a little more research and contacting the manufacturer, he told me, nope, you need a separate IP address for that, a separate MAC ID. And so my internet provider absolutely refuses to do that. So why they would have 2 RJ45 ports on the modem, but you can only use one unless certain conditions are met, I don't know. But that's the way it is. So after fussing and trying to figure out a few ways we could maybe overcome that, there's nothing that we can do apparently, at least not with my current internet provider. So I'm going to wind up taking the modem back, I guess, and getting something else instead. Maybe I'll get a chance to do that tomorrow. I've been really busy this past week. So anyway, I've got no video, except every now and then I'll get a little shot. Right now I've got, right now it looks like the video may be working for a couple seconds and then it stops for a minute or so. The latest video I'm seeing from the television repeater is at 16 minutes and 38 seconds past the hour, frozen there. Anyway, back to you, Dave, in 7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. Hope you'll get the modem so it works here in the future. It's sort of a bummer when it's not available to connect you to the internet. Well, let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue land.
Well, computer that can't get to the internet is kind of like a car without tires, isn't it? Still might do something, but that's what we're all connected to these days. Well, let's see. Richard, I would have to say being extra cautious is not a bad thing. My training as a pilot taught me gravity just doesn't care. So I guess as we get older, we all have to take care there. I was going to say that I've fallen many times, but the prosecutor never was able to build a case, but I don't think that's the same thing. Things are on the mend and stabilizing. Let's see. Ron, wife with a new computer. Now, of course, this is the test of any real relationship. Does she let you play with her new toy? That's what I want to know. We want to hear about that next time around. My life has been very boring except for one event, and it was the Battle of the Flying Squirrel. I'll tell you about that next time. Let's see, other than that, let's see, I guess that's all the hot news here. I will tell you about the Flying Squirrel next time around. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N, thanks with that. And let's go to Clyde Hill for Carlos, 87MP. Carlos, the mic is yours.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is 87MP with a couple of notes. This is the infinite. I'm doing an infinite picture. I'm trying to reach infinity and beyond. So, a couple of notes. Congratulations on your computer. I've heard the whole process. I'm sure Wade pick up a good system, performant, and there's nothing like a new computer to play solitaire. And it's always a good testing application for every new computer. I think when Dave called for Lee to stream, Dave, you were still at echo. What is the echo from? Interesting. I wonder if it's the audio not going well. I'll or maybe Lee is hearing me both on the stream and on the radio. And so when Dave asked for Lee, and the fact that they still have the transmitter on wouldn't allow the stream from Lee to show up. So next time we need to not have the radios on to allow for the stream. Today I'm also using directly the stream instead of the transmitter. And in this case, we're able to accommodate multiple streams on the screen. So if Wade or Lee would transmit at the same time, then we would all show them. So whenever we get back to Wade, we'll be able to demonstrate that. Jim, on your router, one use of those multiple ports is to give higher bandwidth on the connecting with the router that it's next. So the cable modem can do bonding of those two ports for the same connection and allow for higher bandwidth. So that's one of the typical uses that will be for those multiple ports. Sometimes makes sense. I also noticed that on the beginning of the net, just a minute, we had KT6ILO was there also, so we might, Dave, we might want to check if Mario is there because I saw his transmission during there, and it was looking good. Your new camera, Wade. So looking forward to see that on the next one. Back to Dave, net control from 87NP.
And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Well, let's see, I got 43 degrees and cloudy outside, but my week's accomplishment was I filed my income tax papers yesterday by the internet, so I got that out of the way. So anyway, took 3 weeks for the accountant to spit out the images of numbers that I needed, and he's filing it directly through the internet, so that'll be good. So one down, and everything tonight I've been watching on the output of the repeater, and everything's P5 coming into my place here in Lake City. All the images are just top-notch and good quality, and so that's very good. All the cameras seem to be functioning well out there by our users, and really looks great on digital TV. So that's about it, and so let me call in Mario, KD6ILO, KD6ILO. Are you there? And I'll call over digital. Let's see, Mario, are you out there? KD6ILO, Mario.
Ron Sam. This is the Western Washington.
Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave. And the rest of the I'm sorry for my voice. I had a problem. But I want to say hello and to Ray and Carlos, good job on the improvements on the repeater. And hello to Ron. And glad to see that the Tacoma Radio Club is still active. So I won't keep you, but I do want to say hello. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Mario. It was nice seeing you, and your image came across a P5 picture. Audio was very good. So anyway, thanks for checking in our net. And anyway, your thanks to the Tacoma Radio Club. I guess it's near and dear to your heart being here from the Pacific Northwest, and we're able to utilize the club's facility there in Tacoma. So with that, I'm going to move back up to the top to KD7QKU. Ron, what say you?
Okay. Well, thank you, Dave. Hello to the group again, KD7QKU. Well, hi there, Mario. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you for a long time. Your hair is shorter than mine. You have to buy it every year. I think it was $146 this year. But I enjoy it, so. And I don't do a lot of other things, so I like to watch baseball, so I'll be able to watch the games when the season starts. And by the way, Mario's picture was just outstanding. I look at my picture, it's okay, but it's not nearly as beautiful as Mario's was. It was so clear, so good. It was really, really nice. So, that's about it for this time, I guess. So, back to Dave, back to the net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, let's try Lee again in Port Angeles and see if everything switches through. N7KC.
Good, up in Mount Vernon. I don't know if you can read this radio, but just give it a quick check out. This is KF7 UHK.
UHK, we got you.
Again, this is KD7ZYM contacting Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles.
You're almost there. N7KC, we're getting your call sign on digital TV, but the blank screen is black.
Unsuccessful contact with Lee N7KC. And let's see, we got KF7UHK. Jessica, what say you? And no response. Well, let's try to see if we can do another contact. Let's move on down to Richard, K7ITX in Arizona.
Yeah, that's too bad. I would have liked to have had to heard Lee and his transmission, but I'm not sure what happened there. And Jessica as well. I'd like to haven't heard from her in a long time. And as for myself, the person who didn't want to go to any, doesn't like to go out. I'm going to my third spring training game on this Tuesday. I couldn't take my sister, and I couldn't take my sister and brother-in-law without finally taking the YL. So, but now, I'm going to be sitting in the exact same seats. The usher will know me by heart. I know how to get in and get out. It's a piece of cake. It'll be enjoyable. We've had really nice, calm weather here in the 70s, and we had a gully washer in the last couple nights, but we're in for some warm, toasty weather again. But it is very relaxing. It is fun. So anyway, that's stay healthy. This is something I can do for Debbie for sure. So with that, I'll send it back to Nat Control, K7ITX.
And we'll go to W7ITL. Wade, the mic is yours.
This is W7ITL. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having a little bit
of trouble getting my camera to work correctly. I got one of them working, but the one that I was trying to get work to show you guys, it wasn't working. So let's see if I can get it working again, because I wanted to show you guys what was going on. All right, let's see. Let's see. It's crooked. I don't know what's going on. There we go. There we go. It's now it's wanting to do something here. Okay. I'm trying to negotiate it. So yeah, this is my setup here. And to kind of give it some feedback, it was nice to see Mario on the. Oh, now my camera disconnected. Still working these bugs out with this stuff, but oh, now it's going to show me my curtain. But yeah, it was nice seeing Mario. Hopefully we can get Lee's video working. I was able to get his call sign in there. I don't know if our streaming server was actually getting his signal, so maybe Lee was just testing tonight. I'm not sure. Let's see. And then I had some other things I wanted to put out there. I'm going to try to do my streaming here. Let's see if my stream will come in. Pause for just a second. Well, I saw it briefly there for a second. I saw my stream and my video. Oh, there we go. I got you guys see me there twice. And now if I turn off my RF, let's see here if it's going to show up. All right, lost my train of thought. But I'll see you guys on the next round. I'm going to try to troubleshoot my gimbal here to see why it was deciding not to transmit. So, or not transmit, but move correctly. But looks like everything else is working good for tonight. Repeater's working really good tonight. So I'll turn it back to net control. Dave, this is WW7ATS.
W7ITL, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and get an ID here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Well, with that out of the way, coming up next is James WU7N.
Your picture within a picture within a picture. Now it's all because of you. I have that song stuck in my mind, Windmills of Your Mind. Okay, does anyone remember the lyrics to that? If you do, you can come up with a line and when it's your turn up next. Let's see, Mario. Oh, it was good to see you, Mario. If you're still listening, thank you very much for coming to our net. And Richard, Spring Training Games. If you're a regular there, I mean that sounds like a great position to be in. Now I'm going to tell you about the Battle of the Flying Squirrel. I was hearing some kind of little rattly noise in my house, and it's kind of like a metallic, hollow noise of something scrambling around. This has happened to me before. And back a couple winters ago when it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit, I didn't know it, but a squirrel had gotten trapped in my chimney. And I only found out about it when this spring came. And I searched the house. I went all over trying, what is making that noise? Yeah, that was a big animal, and that was really, that was a hazmat suit mess. Good thing Harbor Freight sells the disposable hazmat suits. I heard the noise in the flue up in the chimney, and I said, okay, if we're going to be smart about this, we're going to put a little catcher thing in there, so when I open the flue, the squirrel will fall into the little trap thing, and we're going to capture it and then take it out and release it. But what I didn't know, it wasn't an ordinary giant-sized squirrel, which in my green belt, they're about the size of, a medium-sized dog. But the flying squirrels, those little dudes, well, first of all, they don't really fly, they glide. But that doesn't matter, because they are 10 times faster. They have the metabolism of a fusion reactor. That's what powers them, in case you didn't know that. They have little tiny fusion reactors inside of themselves. And so this thing didn't even pause very long to laugh at me before it was loose inside of my house. And so that's when the battle began. I was chasing it all over the house, and it was laughing and trying to get out. But it was a juvenile. It was a small flying squirrel, even by flying squirrel standards. And so apparently he didn't understand the concept of a window, but it was contracted by light. So I was chasing it all over the house, and finally it got into my dining room where I have windows on two sides of the dining room. And it jumped up on the window, and then so I was able to come at it with a towel and get it. And my goodness, this little thing was strong. So finally I got the towel wrapped around it, and of course I'm wearing gloves and protective gear, and I got it into a plastic bag, and then we went for a walk. Kind of mafia walk. It was a nice walk. We went for a walk all the way down to the bottom of the hill, West Lake Sammamish, and I found a tree, and I turned the bag upside down, and I let it go, and the tree immediately ran to the opposite side of the tree, a little ingrate. It didn't even say goodbye or anything, and it scurried up the side of the tree. So I'm totally humanitarian on this, and on the way out of that section of the Green Belt, I said hi to the owl family in the tree right next door. So we'll see how that goes. I hope they meet each other. I'm sure they'll get along great. So that was the Battle of the Flying Squirrel at my house. Most exciting thing that's happened to me in a couple of weeks. Shows you how dull and boring my life is. But anyway, I'm sure you'll all be glad to know. But that's the and walls. So I don't know how the little squirrels are getting into my chimney. I got a whole bunch of repairs done last summer, and I thought everything was sealed up, so a squirrel couldn't get in that section anymore. The only thing I can figure is there must be a little tiny space between the cap on the chimney and where the screening starts. They must be sneaking in there. So I'm going to have to put on the safety harness and go mountaineering as soon as the rain stops and the roof dries out, and see. I might wrap the entire chimney in a piece of chicken wire and see if that'll keep them out. Any ideas are, of course, welcome. I figure what I might do is put some sort of an infrared sensor in there, so at least as soon as one falls down in there the next time, I'll know right away. And I'll also have to work on a better system, maybe using a Home Depot bucket to seal right against the flue, so when it drops in, it won't escape into the house. I was lucky this time. And this is the only second squirrel that's been loose in my house. The other one was a couple decades ago. It was a flying squirrel, but it was huge, about the size of a small pterodactyl. I'm wondering if that was somebody's pet. It was much, much easier to catch than this one. And so, but I took it outside, threw it out, never saw it again. So that's the excitement for WW7N James in Northeast Bellevue. Let's turn it back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Take it away, Dave.
WU7N, thanks with that. And we've got to get another ID in here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's see. A man without a country or a man without a modem. But let's go to Jim, and as the saying goes, when all else fails, amateur radio is there. Go ahead on 2 meters.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, actually, the modem which I bought is working just fine for accessing the internet. So I have internet in my house right now, but I'm unable to make the Wi-Fi work. My router just doesn't. There's a compatibility problem between my router and the modem, and discussion I've been talking on the phone with the new modem manufacturer and the router manufacturer and my internet service provider, and they collectively decided that the router, which I've had for several years, is not compatible with the new modem that I've got. But I don't know. The modem manufacturer said I could only use one of those ports at a time, and regardless, I'm going to need to return the modem that I got. So here in the shack, I've got no Wi-Fi. My cell phone works intermittently out here, so I can't even access the internet here in the shack using that. But I am getting a picture every, sometimes I'll get 3 still pictures in a minute's time, and like right now I have a completely black screen, absolutely nothing on there. Okay, well now the SDR picture just popped up, and it stopped, it's frozen at 2 seconds past 46 minutes. Anyway, maybe by Wednesday I should have things a little bit better than what I've got now. Let's see. I did not get anything from Mario. I was unable to hear anything on the 14708 machine, and no video, of course, at all. Let's see here. Dick, spring training. Oh, that sounds wonderful. That's got to be a good thing to go watch, especially with the weather. But we'll see. I saw Carlos. I saw you for just a second there on Peter. Now my picture's frozen again. My goodness. I know it's always a good idea that you're thinking about infrared sensor. But yeah, how do some of these critters get into our houses? Places get sealed up, places get abandoned, but yet they find a way. I was reading someone had a problem with a rodent, and so they investigated it, and the professional came out and said, you don't need to install something called a wet slab, which is essentially a layer of concrete down on the floor of your floor space. He had a road which was just digging. I don't know if it was underneath his it chewed through something, but they said just innovative in what they do. I know someone in my neighborhood feeds the squirrels because I wind up with empty peanut shells on my property frequently, and it's frustrating because between the squirrels and the birds, they're all
This is 87NP. Let me cut into my scene. Doesn't seem to be going full screen, but audio should be going and video should be going. Seems a little confused to stay on this screen still, but we'll figure it out in a minute. Lead, it showed up a couple of times as someone mentioned, but it dropped. So maybe there's kind of too much of a demand on your output stream, or maybe there's just too much traffic because we are streaming the net at the same time. So that might be causing some confusion. James, I'm disappointed there was no video recording of this squirrel thing. I mean, this could make for such a viral YouTube video. I mean, I think you missed this opportunity to make really the Western Washington Amateur Television Society show up on Como News and others just with this episode, but we'll wait for next one. If you're inspired by this, you should look at Mark Rober. He's a YouTuber, and he has made a video of some squirrel activity on his backyard. put up a really good circuit to feed the squirrels after some sort of kind of things that they would have to go to jump and and go to some traps to get to the food. It was pretty good. You should probably consider that going on there. And for Jim, I know that Wade already placed the repeater on -16, so hopefully there will be some image. And so Wade, the sequence, and Wade, you might want to try that. So if you kind of jump on the second receiver, and then we have more streams, we are now able to switch automatically into kind of seeing the multiple streams at the same time. But as long as there's only a single transmitter, it will give it priority. Giving back to Net Control, Dave, from 87NP in Clydale. Thank you.
'87NP, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. And talking about animals in your house, I had an occasion where I had a rat come into the underside of my attic, and I used one of those ultrasonic sound generators. I put out food, the rat took the food, the sound was off on the ultrasonic sound device. I baited up the rat again. He took another bait. Then I turned the sound on, and the rat has never been back. That's been over a couple of years, and I still have the device racking away up in my attic, so it seemed to work pretty good. But other animals, I had a starling come flying through a window in my living room. Boy, it was like an explosion. I wasn't sure what had happened. And then I found the bird and took him outside, let it fly away. Then a week later, all of a sudden I heard some chirping coming out of my chimney in the fireplace, and found out that a starling had come down through the chimney. And boy, that was kind of a messy thing to clean up. But I got him wrapped up in a towel and let him outside to go. Then after that, I got the chimney capped with a screen, so that took care of that problem. But animal things are always kind of interesting to see when we're dealing with them. Well, with that, I'm going to move it back up to the top to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU. Well, I was hoping that they would get Leon. I've seen his picture a couple of times. I think we'd have to hear his sound over the TV set. Jim, N7QO, we talked about weak Wi-Fi. Well, Wade set up a Wi-Fi mesh system here at my house. So that's what you need at your house. I had some outside security cameras, and my Wi-Fi, they run on Wi-Fi, and it just was a little bit too weak. So Wade put in a mesh system, and now they just work fine, 100%. So you might think about that. Just money, Jim. You just have to spend the money. You can have anything. So I'd like to see Lee. Can we get Lee in? Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU.
This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's try again for Port Angeles to Lee, N7KC. Lee, digital TV is yours.
Okay. What do you know? Okay. What do you know? Okay. What do you know? Okay. There we go. I had killed Lee on the on browser. Okay, very good. First time I couldn't seem to overcome Dave's signal and so forth. What I wanted to say was it was fun to see Mario, but I just wanted to tell him that his CW ID didn't work. For example, the ILO, the O was one long tone, and the others were all messed up. Uh, Other than that, audio-wise, it's been kind of interesting. For example, Dave is coming through my left earpiece, Wade is coming through the right, and everybody else is pretty much in the left, I guess. But right at the moment, this seems to be doing pretty good. I'm curious to know, Dave, do you have to shut off your stream in order for me to come on, or will I somehow override you if I come in? I don't know that. Anyway, with that, I'm going to stop this. Uh, I've got good audio and all that, and I can hear myself sounds pretty good. So anyway, thanks everybody. Back to you, Dave. This is N7KC.
N7KC, yes. For myself, I have to mute myself for some reason. Otherwise, I get feedback through the TV. It doesn't know that it's supposed to be quiet while I'm transmitting, but it just brings through. So anyway, I mute the TV. I got that. I unmuted the TV, and I got a great picture from Lee and great sound. And matter of fact, I had to sort of lower the audio down a little bit on Lee. It was over-modulating coming in. So we got a very strong audio signal that was coming in. So that's about it, and we got enough time to go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay. KD7QKU here. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, nice picture, Lee. I had to turn my sound down. I was listening to you on the TV, and I had to turn it down. But it was sometimes it was a little hard to understand, but I don't hear so well, so I don't know. Maybe it was just me. Richard, I guess I'm jealous you're going to the baseball game. But enjoy that. Debbie will enjoy it, I'm sure. So we're sort of running out of time, so I'm going to turn it back. KD7QKU 73s.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. And it's time to wrap up the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our audio connections. So with that, I'm terminating the net at 9 o'clock. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Good evening all.
Thanks, Wade, and good night, and to Ron, and to Carlos. You guys do a very good job. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you, Mario. Have a good night.
There you go. And Mario.